desktop. I'm a little bit late setting up, but actually I'm not. It's not even not even half past yet. So I apologise for. That's not what I want to be moving. So I will need that. Window capture. Add source. I'm just setting up my Benzinga desk. My Benzinga scanners, just setting them up now. And we just want to be 15 minutes for that one. Actually, where are we? I'll show you guys the scanners themselves in a moment, just setting them up. Pre-market 15 minutes, that's right. Okay, now next one. This is for 5 minutes. Okay, that can move sideways slightly. Last one, last window. Then we'll have a look at the stocks that are running and see if there's anything there for us to take. Okay, so that's let's not the session. We want 5 minutes on that one. And by volume. Okay, so just one more thing to do, I guess. Good. That's good. Okay. So, who have we got in the stream? I'm not trading crypto, it's equities. 365 turned 14k into 900. That's good going. Good going. Day one turning $120 into zero. There's a lot of people do that. No, Black Eagle, my pleasure, mate. It's good. If I just wish I had someone that could use lay terms and in understandable context explain what's going on when I first started. Because Russia, the user said, did I see all the stocks going down? Yeah, so all the futures are down, commodities are up, gold is looking great, if I'm being completely honest. Gold is looking absolutely fantastic, but gold is always a haven when there's political turmoil, so it's understandable that people are putting money into gold right now. It's the whole Russia-Ukraine. Russia have started to invade Ukraine, so that's pushed the whole uncertainty up. If you look at the VIX index, which is the fear index, it's a measure of uncertainty within the markets. That's now up around 35. It's up about 20 points on the day. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. So equities across the board, Nasdaq, Dow, S&P 5, they're all down. For long-term investors, you shouldn't be worried about that. It's basically providing a dip buying opportunity, a discount buying opportunity. For day traders like myself, I don't mind that either. So any kind of strong momentum, either up or down on the markets, it usually provides volatility, which is what we want as traders. From a human point of view, obviously I'll keep watching what's going on, because the last thing we need is to be dragged into another global conflict. But from a opportunity point of view, this is I just look at it from an opportunity point of view. Right now, what I would say is I'm not going to worry too much about what's happening in Eastern Europe, because I can't do anything about it. I've taken stance over the last few years that if it affects me, I'm impacted. But if I can't affect it, I'm not going to worry. You know? Do I ever trade crypto? Yeah, I'm in crypto. That's exactly. So there's money to be made in, but they're buying puts and shorting the market at the moment. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you can still invest. Crypto will be affected the same way as the wider markets. It's on fear and uncertainty. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. FUD, as they call it. That's going long now. I'm not sure it's a good time to go long on the markets right now. I'll probably say with the VIX so high. The VIX is if I just pull the VIX up here so we can see it. So this is the VIX, and it's up 20 points on the day. So just, it's at 37s, which is a measure of fear and indexing within the market. The futures in particular, what's going to happen, do we know? So I would say that with the VIX index so high, there's so much fear and uncertainty that it's probably not a good time to be going long in a new position. But if you're in a position right now, if you're in a long position right now, it's not time to worry and sell for a loss either. So when you're long on the markets, when you're long on futures, if you've got an ETF or an index-related ETF, they will always recover. It doesn't matter how long this conflict's going on. In the long term, it will recover. So the $5,000 now. So just been asked where I am on the $5,000. We're starting today with $106,841. So we've grown $101 on the month so far. 101 is by anyone's standards, that's in a month. That's phenomenal. So and I'm saying that myself, you know. Hi Mark. So right now we've got a couple of watches. INDO. So we traded INDO on Tuesday, I think it was. We traded in INDO, Indonesian Energy. I'll just consult my. Indonesian Energy. We made almost $5,000 on Indonesian Energy on Tuesday, INDO, and it's up. It's up over 100% already pre-market, and understandably so because of the whole natural gas situation from Russia. People are going to start looking for supply from other sources. So Indonesian Energy, I'm just going to look at the catalyst. That's my commentary without even looking at the catalyst. So Loma, INDO. Indonesian Energy Corp is higher by 100% Thursday pre-market. Yes, I know, I've just said that. So I'll just pull this up here so I can actually read it properly. INDO has an overall score of 62. Find out what this means. Okay, so basically, it's the political situation is driving Indonesian Energy up, by the looks of it. So I'm keeping an eye on INDO because we traded it well on Tuesday. It set up very well for us, and we rode it up. So let's see what we can get out of INDO. Okay, what will happen with Indonesia? Indonesian Energy is the stock that I'm looking for. I don't know what's going to happen with Indonesia as a nation, but Indonesian Energy, they're an energy company, and the energy situation, natural gas in particular, is probably going to get a shortage, particularly in Europe, if they close down the Gazprom lines as part of sanctions to Russia. So you know we can the conflict in Eastern Europe is going to affect the market. It's already affecting the markets. So you know there's no hiding from that. It's about how we actually address that ourselves. Can we take advantage of that? So Marine Petroleum Trust or MARPS is also up. So again, another another energy company. Lantheus Holdings has just hit the scanners. So there's a conference call today with Lantheus Holdings. So that's probably why that's up slightly. We've got Mexico Energy. So if you're looking for stocks that are actually gapping up today, look within the energy sector. It seems that the energy sector is quite buoyant today. We've got quite a lot of stocks that are gapping up at the moment, and it's understandable given the latest chain of events. So, you know, 50% drop in the dollar versus the ruble. Well, we're going to get some we're going to get some volatility. Gold, silver, platinum, any precious metals are going to be up. Let me just have a look on gold is currently up. Yeah. How much is it? How much is it up though? So I'm just looking at one of the gold ETFs, and that's up at 180s. So it's gone up. It's gone up $5 a share. So gold is gapping up quite considerably. Understandably so. It's always a haven. People always put money into precious metals when there's political turmoil. It's a safe bet when it comes to political instability. So yeah, I've got the SPY open, SPY's down, Nasdaq's down, the VIX is up. So yeah, we're across the board. The futures are all trading with uncertainty and doubt at the moment. I'm not from Yorkshire, no. I'm wrong side of the Pennines. Start buying when stocks bottom out in about 3 years. Well, there's money to be made in the meantime. Hopefully I'll be able to show you today. So I'll just get back to INDO because I'm watching this. I'm looking for an entry with INDO. It's up on the day, over 100%. So given let's have a look at the all-time highs. It's all-time highs. Indonesian Energy is currently at all-time highs. So it gapped up to went up to just shy of $20 earlier this morning before I could start trading. So I'm just watching this on the 5 minute and also on the 1 minute. So just for so 1650s is a good resistance, but it's shown resistance at 1650s. It's shown support down at 12s, at 13s, also at 14s. So just want to see. I want to see it hold above 15 for a potential entry point. So it's interesting at the moment in terms of where the volume is. The top gapper doesn't appear on the volume chart at the moment, on the volume scanner. So it's just purely political sentiment, I think, that's driving all the energy stocks up. Yeah, absolutely. Natural gas, oil, they're all up. All of them are up. So we're going to see a hike in the price. We're already energy prices were already at all-time highs. So we're going to see that. NEO, I'm bullish on NEO as an electric. In fact, I'm bullish on the whole EV space, electrical vehicle space. I think that's medium and long term. I think EVs are a good investment, and it will continue to grow. That segment of the market will continue to grow. Norway Energy, any energy stock is worth a punt today. I think. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not offering financial advice or stock picks or alerts or signals. If what I say you go out and use that as advice to buy into the markets and lose money, don't sue me. Wheat again. Those commodities are a lot of commodities are actually up. People are putting money in. I'm not actually trading right now. I'm watching Indonesian Energy. That's the one I'm watching right now. It's the only one that's had a reasonable volume. That's gapping up at a reasonable level. It's 89% up at the moment. It gapped up to over 100% earlier today, and I'm just watching for an entry point. I want it to come back down towards the volume weighted average, potentially bounce around $13.50s, $14, and then we can get in. It's the only one. There's $3.2 million worth of shares been traded with Indonesian Energy already, and I think that's the highest one. So other than some ETFs, pro share ETFs, that's the highest highest traded stock today is Indonesian Energy. Um, so we may actually start seeing some bear market action, particularly on the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq could be CEI. I've never. Somebody keeps asking me about CEI, and I hate this stock. It's up today though. It's up today. It's still not over $1, and with CEI, I don't think it will be over $1. It's a garbage stock from my experience, but my opinion. It's not financial advice. Considering this stock went all the way up to almost $5 back in October, it's down at 82 cents right now. So it's got a long way to go for me to be interested in trading trading that. It's way below the levels that I trade anyway in terms of value. Has to be above $3 in value for me to trade it anyway. And 82 cents. But for those of you that want to trade it, for those of you with very small accounts, this potentially could be a stock you can get on and utilize the volatility at the moment with it to make a reasonable profit. If it gets up to if it does get up above $1, that's a 20-cent move, and if you've got a small account, you could buy a few thousand shares of this, no problem at all, because it's less than $1. So if you've got a $5,000 account, you could probably buy 6,000-7,000 shares of this, and then if you get a 20-cent move, that's 20 cents on the dollar. You're getting a 20% increase in your holdings straight away. So again, not a stock pick. That's CEI. CEI is 82 cents. It's not a stock pick. It's not my recommendation. I don't tell people what to do with the money. I don't think that's first, I'm not licensed to do that, and secondly, I don't want you coming after me if you lose. Ultimately, the only thing that you're guaranteed to do in the markets is lose, because nobody wins all the time. It's just about trying to keep your winners bigger than your losers, and more frequent. So why have I got INDO on my chart 3 times? Go figure. So what I'll do is I'll put LNTH. There's no volume on it, but it's moving. So Mexico Energy, I'll put the SPY down there. Zoom in, and then I can put MXC here. So I'm just putting things on the watch list here, but basically I probably won't keep them there, but there's just nothing else to put on there at the moment. I'm expecting a bit more volatility in the market today. SPY calls or puts, I don't offer financial advice. At the moment the SPY's falling, so do with that information as you will. It's down about 3 points today, well 2.5, 3 points. So yeah, 2.5 points is the SPY at the minute. But what's interesting is the VIX, which is the index that measures fear, uncertainty within the market. That's 20% up today. So we're currently trading that one about $37. So I see quite a bit of volatility. What you tend to find is when there's a lot of uncertainty, you are at risk of bearish action in the market, but you tend to get a lot more volatility. If the VIX is up over 30%, is over 30 points, then it tends to be the markets fluctuate up and down. You'll get big ranges in the markets. It's down. The SPY, the Nasdaq, they're all down. The Nasdaq's down 3%, so we're bordering on very bear market territory there. So just be careful if you've got positions. Just watch the space in terms of potential dip buying opportunities in the market. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Are you seeing this as a dip buying opportunity, or is it making you more nervous? Just let me know. I think we'll see lots of circuit breakers today, personally, in the market. Not on the markets themselves, but certainly on the on some of the equities contained within. Litecoin is on sale. I saw that. It's taking a bit of a dip. Yeah. ARK. Let me have a look at ARK. So ARK usually as an ETF is usually very good investment, but it's down. It's following the market. It always does. So because it's based on the S&P 5 largely. So ARK Invest is down at the moment. We're currently trading at 57s. But it's still a good. I mean, Cathy Wood is recognised as one of the top investors in the industry. She does even she makes bad calls from time to time, as does the top investor Warren Buffett. He makes bad calls from time to time. No human is infallible when it comes to investing. You know, they do make bad calls, but in the long term, ARK Invest has been a consistently profitable ETF that's outperformed the market. So what don't you think's right, little Henny? Polygon. I like Polygon as a crypto. I don't mind Polygon. I think it's quite okay. We'll go back to INDO at the moment. So it dropped down to about 86% up on the day. It's now 91, so 90% up. So I'm just kind of waiting for an entry point. So it's coming down. It peaked at just shy of $20. It peaked. This is Indonesian Energy I'm talking about here. We traded this on Tuesday. It peaked at $19.63. It dropped all the way back towards the volume weighted average price. It went down to a low of $12.70. Then it went back up to $16.50. It's now 14.15. And based on the current situation with natural energy and the likes, and this being an energy stock, I'm expecting it to reverse this. It's still in an upwards trend overall. But it's just pulling back, and I'm just waiting for a reversal on this pullback. So it's quite a long time frame on this pullback, but it's been pulling back since kind of 7:30 this morning market time. So for the last 25 minutes, I just want to see when this reversal takes place. So potentially we could get in on a nice little trade with this. Not going to get married to it. Just looking for a bounce that we can get in and get out quickly for a nice little profit. That's all I'm looking for. So when we were down here, 12.43. So we've got a 30-cent range from the VWAP before, but we're currently 90 cents. So I'm still a little bit cautiously getting in there. I'm not keeping up with the chat. I do apologise. Okay, so guys, we've got 400 people in the chat. Everybody just tap the screen 10 times. Let's get the like count up. The like count can, if we get a lot of likes, it pushes the algorithm. It helps with the algorithm. It pushes it out to more people. So just tap the screen 10 times each. That'll give us, 500 people tapping it 10 times gives us 5,000 likes. So yeah, just everybody just tap the screen 10 times and we'll get there. Okay, so buy puts today. Well, if you're into options, can you get away from there? If we're into options, then yeah, puts could be a good option today on the market. I'm not buying puts. I've not been trading options for a long time. I keep losing money, so maybe I should buy some puts and it'll push the market. Up. But I've not bought puts for a long time. I've not bought options for a long time. Tesla. Let's have a look at Tesla. So you wanted me to have a look at Tesla. So Tesla is still falling. It's down at just over $700, 702 at the moment on the nose. So it's been falling. It's down $20 in the last hour or so. So it's in a bearish momentum. Has been falling for some time. Tesla's been losing ground since November. I'm still bullish on Tesla. In the long term, I think Tesla's still got a bright future. They've got they tried to corner the EV market. They stole the march on a lot of people. So I'm still bullish on Tesla in the long term. But if I look at where they finished, we're down on the day quite considerably. It's about $60 odd down on the day. So it's close to 10%. GME. Someone wants to know what I think of GME. I don't like the company. The way they treat their employees is terrible. I did get involved in the big squeeze last year. That's been and gone. You're not going to see that again. I'll just pull up GME here so we can actually take a look at the fundamentals. And because what happened last year, the reason GameStop squaws up last February is we were talking about 120% short interest. There was more people shorting the stock than there were actually shares available at one stage. So when people started pushing it up and buying it, it meant that the shorts had to cover, and then we got that massive momentum last year, and it went up over $500 a stock. Right now, GME is $114, trading at $114. The short interest at the moment for GME, and this is where it makes a difference on this particular stock, because it's not a huge float. We're talking 46 million, so it's not a huge float, but it's only got a 23% short interest, and I'm not saying that's small, but it's not big either. So GME, it's down 8% on the day. It's still falling. It's down 7% on the day, and it's still falling. It's not something I will be trading today. I don't think we'll see the kind of volatility in GME that we've seen certainly last year. The whole Wall Street bets movement that was driving this seems to have moved on to other things. I'm not going to give you advice on whether you should buy $120 calls or not. You take a look at it and see what you think. Make your decisions based on your own research. Lockheed could be a good buy. I mean, war stocks, a good gamble. You probably, I know some of them are actually up at the moment. Amazon's a good long-term investment. I've got positions with Amazon. and I still think it's a good long-term investment. And don't buy anything today. I think that's a bit of a silly comment, but you know, if you could sit it out, there's no harm in sitting out on the sidelines and watching the action. So if you don't buy anything today, although you won't make any money, you'll not lose any either. So you know, I can understand the mentality. Fear of the markets. Nobody ever got rich by having fear of the markets. So how can I manage looking at multiple screens for hours and end for days with all that light and shit? I've got eye drops, eye mist. It's the same as anybody that works in an office. If truth be known, anybody that works in an office, whether it's multiple screens or whether it's a single screen, if you're staring at the screen all day, the blue light can be damaging for your eyes. So this is why I wear the glasses as well. Yeah, invest in the Ukrainian dollar. It might be ruble by the end of the week. The Ukrainian ruble. I can look at Polygon for you, no problem at all. Polygon versus the US dollar. So I'll just pull this on. We're looking at this on Tradingview. So this is the 5 minute. I want to take the wider angle on this and look at the hourly chart or the 4 hour chart. I tend to, when we're looking at more long term, Polygon's down. I wouldn't worry too much. I wouldn't worry too much about pullbacks today, based on it's a reaction on the political situation. So don't worry too much about that. It's a dip buying opportunity. Even if full on war breaks out, I would worry about health more than I would worry about the finances. The finances will recover. So just bear that in mind. So Matic or Polygon is currently at $1.28 a coin, and it's down on. It is down on the day. It's very light volume on the 4 hour time frame. What's it looking like? It's, if I go back to the end of January 24th, it's in a similar level of January 24th. So it's ranging sideways. Over the last month, it's not really moved one way or the other. It's had ups and downs, peaks and troughs, but it's right now it's where it was a month ago. So just bear that in mind. Okay, back to the chat. Link. So someone wants me to take a look at Link. Chain link. Link versus the US dollar. So it's so Link is exhibiting pretty much the same chart as Matic is, and on the 4 hour very similar. It's a little bit. The difference with Link is it's over the last month it's down slightly. It's currently trading at $11.60, $11.70. So it's down a little bit from a monthly perspective. If you look at the RSI, it's reached into the oversold territory. So that's kind of a bullish sign. If you put weight onto the relative strength index, that's a good sign for a potential bounce. But I wouldn't say there's going to be a potential bounce anytime soon unless we see some kind of clarity on the political situation. So just bear that in mind. Anything that's going into oversold at the moment, don't expect to bounce whilst we've got such political turmoil. 3 weeks. So Zeus Play wants to know. Did I seriously turn 5k into 50k in just 2 weeks? Yes, I did. In 2 weeks I turned it into in 3 weeks I turned it into 90k. We've just gone over the 3 weeks. We're halfway through week 4, and we're currently at 106k. So we've got it $5,000, and we've grown it to over $100,000 in less than a month. So yes, it is. Now I've outperformed even my own expectations. I've got to be honest. It's not. My performance is not normal performance in the markets. Don't think that anyone can do this because not anybody can. It's not typical. The typical performance of people that get involved in day trading is they lose money. Okay. Most people, over 85% of people that put money into the markets lose money long term. So it's very risky. If you're considering getting into the finance markets, I would say please be careful first and foremost. Learn about charting. Learn the skills to be successful. Develop a strategy and then test that out for an extended period of time in a simulator. Don't put money into the markets until you've proven in a simulator that you can be profitable for at least 3 continuous months. Every trader that I know, even the profitable ones, has bad days and losing days. So just make sure that you are only putting enough in the market that you're prepared to lose, because you will lose. Every beginner trader loses money. It's almost a given. So just be careful if you're getting into the market. Okay. What trade did he give me that much profit? So last Friday I got into a trade, GRNA, and we went for a scalp, and we got caught in a volatility halt. So we were looking for a 10-cent scalp. I took big size, took 25,000 shares. We were looking, it was $12 a share. We were looking for a 10-cent move, and we were going to take quick profits and then ride up with the rest. And after six cents, it actually had a volatility halt. We got caught in the halt, and when it resumed 30 minutes later, it resumed $3 higher, or actually over $3 higher. It was $3.86, I think it was higher. And then when it pulled back, I'd put a stop loss in place, this trailing stop loss in place, and that made us a big. That actually was a $67,000 win. So very unusual for that to happen. Most of the time when stocks get caught in a volatility halt, they might gap one either up or down, but they don't gap up or down 25%. And that's highly unusual. So I was fortunate that I managed to get on the back of that, but that's not normal. It isn't normal. I do recommend Bitcoin. I mean, I'm in Bitcoin long term. I think as a commodity, as a store of value, Bitcoin has its best. The best of Bitcoin is yet to come. And the same with the wider crypto space. NFTs, not so much. I don't know too much about them. I'm not going to say they're a scam, but it feels to me like it's a big scam. It's a big money laundering racket, NFTs. I don't know if it is or it isn't. I'm not saying that it is, I just feel like it is. So I've not got involved with NFTs. I don't own AMC. I'm one of the paper-handed Peter, that's me. As I got out of AMC at about $38, close to $48, no, close to $40 I got out of AMC. That was the last of my holdings. I made profits with AMC. I got out most of my position in the late 40s. But I got out the whole of my holdings in about $38 on AMC. NFTs are good for asset management. I don't see it, but please educate me. Yeah, so the VIX is up today. So I've got the VIX on here. And it's up because the VIX is a volatility measure of volatility in the market. It's a measure of fear and uncertainty in the market. So currently the VIX is up 20% today, and it's actually the VIX is a good one to watch if you're day trading and you're looking for a volatile day that there's going to be a lot of movement. I would say the fact that we're up, we're beyond kind of 30, we're in the 30s on the VIX index, which suggests there will be quite a lot of volatile moves within the market today. So I'm not trading currency. So Dark North wants to know which currency pair I'm trading and what time frame. I don't trade Forex. I don't trade Forex. I only trade equities. I don't trade futures, I don't trade Forex, I don't trade crypto. I invest in futures and crypto, but I don't trade it on an intraday basis. I only trade equities on an intraday basis. I'm not holding Polygon or Matic. I'm actually, the four coins that I'm holding are Cardano, XRP, which is taking a bit of a tumble today as well. But I'm holding Cardano, XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. VIX, I think, could be worth watching the VIX on a wider perspective. We're not going to get the huge volatility that we can get with the equities, but certainly the moves could be there. If you're intraday trading, if you're swing trading, it could be a good bet. I think. I'm not using TD. My broker is Capital Markets Elite Group that I'm using at the moment. Okay, we did so Indonesian Energy came all the way down to the volume weighted average price. That's what I was waiting for it to do, and I've been talking to you guys. and it started to move back up. It started to do a bit of a reversal. So I'm going to take a starter position at $14. I've got to select my route. What do you mean I've not got enough buying power? Okay, so we'll take a starter position with Indonesian Energy, $14. We've just bought in at $14.13. Now this is not a trade I would normally take. It's not set up. It's just I'm feeling that with the political situation, this is not. I'm not buying this on a pattern or what. This is not a trade I would normally take. The political situation is that I think it's going to it's going to move up again. The way it has been doing, it's moving sideways, but we're getting a pennant forming. So if I just look at create a couple of rays on the on the 5 minute, we'll see we're getting a bit of a pennant forming. So I just want to see take profits around $14.75, $15. It's that went up to we've got an algorithmic trading there up to 1560s, but I didn't see that at all, unfortunately. So I want to see this move up towards the $15 level, and then we can take some nice profits. It's currently trading around 1430s, 1440s. We're in at 1413, so we're in this trade right now. We're in for 5,000 shares. I say it's just a starter position. I'm not going to be adding to this. I'm just going to be looking for a quick profit, but simply because I'm just feeling like this is more of a boredom trade than anything else. I took it. It wasn't set up. It wasn't a typical setup. So just bearing in mind, this was more of an impulse trade, just because I'm seeing the bullish momentum of this particular stock. So I'm going to take a little bit of profit off there, taking $1,000 off. So taking half of my position off. We're still in for 2,500 shares. I've taken half the position off. We've made $1,000 already, and I'll just wait to see what happens. So now my stop is the bottom of the previous candle. So low of this last candle is 14.15. So at 14.15, I'll sell the position if it breaks 14.15. So I could, in theory, I could just put a stop there and forget about it. Just move those red lines. So I can. So we just got a first red candle on the 1 minute. There's 3 green candles in a row now. On the 5 minute, we've seen we're getting 3 candles. 3 green candles, red candle, 3 green candles, red candle. So I'm expecting, it's 4 green candles, red candle, 3 green candles, red candle, 2 green candles, red candle. This is 1 green candle. So based on that, if the next one's a red candle, my get out point here now is 14.30. So I'm just taking a very tight loss, tight risk here. So the low of the previous candle is my exit point. So I'm now looking at the low is 435. So if I go to 434, that's me out of this trade for a nice little profit. So I'm just watching the price action here. It's currently at 1440s, 1444 on the ask. So I'm just watching the ask as well as the bid, because it's pre-market. The spreads are a little bit bigger than they would be after the bell. So we're getting as much as 10 cents on the spread. So that's another part of your risk management strategy you need to take, is on the when you're looking at the spreads. Okay, so that's gone below 14.35. So I'm out of that trade now. Am I out of that trade now? Yeah, I'm out of that trade now. So I can show you what we just did. We just made $900. Here's my face. So I just got in there. That was where we entered. We took a starter position of $5,000. We rode it up here. Now, I would have liked to have rode it up there, but that was algorithmic transactions that took place. It didn't actually go that spike that high. So we took some profit there, and then when it started pulling back, we exited the trade here for a little bit more profit. So that's got us at 975 on the day. After charges and fees and stuff, we're a little over $900 profit off that first trade. And that's what we want to be doing. We want to be doing base hits, pre-market, swinging for the fences. Pre-market is a recipe for disaster. Why am I in on Cardano? I like the project. I think Cardano is, from a use case perspective, I think there's a lot of potential there. If you look at the blockchain that's built on, it's just, for me, an exciting project with a lot of future. Now, part of that, when I look at NFTs being built on the Cardano, being built with Cardano, and I don't understand NFTs and I'm not doing that, it's a case of, okay, well, a lot of people are riding the momentum on that technology and betting on that technology. This is the technology that's underpinning it, so that's why I'm bullish on Cardano, and I think it's a good, I think it's welcome from Namibia. Welcome from Namibia. I do apologise for not being able to pronounce your country. Yeah, I think XRP's got a great use case as well. Ethereum underpins the technology for Ethereum. The Ethereum blockchain underpins a lot of other coins and a lot of other technologies. Bitcoin will always be the daddy. So Bitcoin will always be the one that dictates movement in the wider market as well. So that's why I'm in those four coins. So what more? Shiba Inu as a community coin, also known as a meme coin. Anything with a dog's face on it, I consider it a community coin. What I mean by that is the only real value of those coins is perceived value. It's what the community, if there's an active, loyal community, you can get swings in it. You're not going to get the triple-digit growth levels that you got with Shiba last year, and certainly the same applies to Dogecoin as well. Now, watching it, if you like the community and you're in on that, you can watch it. You can get swings 15-20% one day, and it'll be like 15-20% the next day, and it's up and down. But you're not going to get the huge gains. You can ride it intraday or swing it over a week maybe and get profits that way. But I wouldn't recommend it from a long-term investment. Any of those community coins, I don't believe in them from a long-term investment. The use case, when you ask the community what the actual use case is, they come up with use cases which are flaky at best. Solana, yeah, Solana's not a bad win, and we've already covered Link a little bit earlier. The thing is with ADA or Cardano, asking me when it will spike, I don't have that insight, but it will follow the markets. What you will see with it though is you'll get exaggerated movements with the markets. So you'll get exaggerated gains. When Bitcoin moves up, you'll get exaggerated gains with Cardano, and hopefully when it moves down, the losses won't be as exaggerated. But that's my view on that. That's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional. I'm not a professional trader officially. I trade with my money, not anyone else's. So I don't give stock picks or anything like that. So all I'm doing here is giving my opinion. It's not advice. Okay. There's most of the altcoins have dropped more than Bitcoin itself has of late, and that's not it's not to be unheard of. It's not something that I believe is to be worried about, because you'll see the altcoins will make exaggerated moves based on, if you just look at forget the actual value and just look at the chart itself. The movement of the chart itself is very similar, and that's what I'm saying. Well, you can't. Let's just pull up the SPY. I'll pull up the SPY. I would say this. I'll put it up on the 4-hour time frame. And the question is, are we in a bear market? We can see here that we've got the SPY up here in the start of the year. It's steadily had coming down. We had a bit of a rebound at the beginning of February, and it's coming back down again. We'll drop down. We're way down today, so it is exhibiting bearish momentum. We're not quite in a bear market just yet, but it is exhibiting a bearish trend. If we look at the QQQ, however, which is it's an ETF on the Nasdaq as opposed to the S&P. It's similar. It's a similar shape, and it's a similar move, but it's actually down even more. So I would say the Nasdaq's close to being in a bear market than the S&P at the moment, but the wider market as a whole is exhibiting lower highs and lower lows, and that's a tendency for bearish trends. If that continues, it will become a bear market. I've not done on Friday. I didn't do 1,000%. I did 168% on Friday. I did. We finished the day $55,000 in the green. So it was a good day by any standards. And the thing is, so what I keep saying here is, be careful about when you're trading. Be careful of your emotions, because they get the better of you. And this is one of the reasons most traders, I'll keep saying this because anybody watching me, my results are not typical. Most traders lose. Most traders lose. So just bearing that in mind, my emotions get the better of me like most people do. So doing exercises to help you keep control of your stress levels and emotion levels can help you in your trading journey. But I'm just going to go back to last Friday. I had that big win. It was the biggest trade of my career to date. Second most profitable day to date last Friday. And I got up, when I closed the stream here, I got up, I walked out, took the dog for a walk for about an hour, came back, and what did I do? I came and sat at my desk, and I opened my laptop and you know, I was going to get back in the markets. I was thinking that, yeah, we're on a roll. Part of me was actually, we're on a roll, it's still moving, the markets, there's still money to be made. And it took all my willpower not to take another trade on Friday. It got to a point where it was like, hang on a minute, it's like 5 p.m. my time, 5:30 p.m. my time. There's a couple of hours left of the market. You've got a lovely bottle of wine there, nice expensive bottle of wine there. Go and crack that open, start early, get your head smashed, enjoy your long weekend. And I'm glad it was a long weekend, because it allowed that euphoria of having such a good day on Friday to kind of fizzle out. So when I started trading again on Tuesday, I was able to just go back to taking small size, or relatively small size, and look for those base hits again. Swinging for the fences every time is paramount to lunacy. So, am I pulling out or waiting it out? You sound like a teenager in a whorehouse. Be part of this. Everyone on this stream is part of this. It's not an investment. This is just for entertainment purposes. All. I'm not asking for any money. A couple of people sending me gifts there. It's a couple of cents. I appreciate it. You don't have to. I'm not asking for the. I'm not a great options trader. I do occasionally do options. My problem with options is my strategy doesn't work in that I get greedy and I don't sell the contracts when they're in profit. I hold them too long and they very often expire worthless. So I'm not the best options trader. I do take options, and more often than not, I get into a profitable situation with them. I get them into the money, and then I hold them too long, and then they get out of the money, and I lose the opportunity to actually take profit with options. So I need to do better with options. I need to be a little bit more ruthless in the same way I am with equities. That's my problem with options is I'm not ruthless enough. I don't have execute a strategy in the same way I do with equities. And I think the problem I've got with options is I can see the patterns in a graphical format with equities. When I take an option, I buy a contract, I'm not actually watching the chart in the same way. I'm not seeing where I am on the chart. So it's kind of in the back of your head, and you're looking at a table when you're looking at the options chain. You're looking at the table instead of a graphical chart. And I think that's my downfall. Maybe, you know, a little bit of ADHD or something, that I can't actually watch the movement in the same way I can with equity. So that's why, well, that could be one of the reasons I'm not so good with options. What software am I using? I'm using, this is Daytrading Pro. Daytrading Pro. So actually, I've not done it today. I haven't done this today. Here's my face. So people who want to know this, what is my setup here? Okay, so over here I've got Tradingview. This is Tradingview, and this is where I do a lot of my charting. I think Tradingview is great for charting. Probably one of the best softwares out there, and it's free, which is even better. You can get the premium version, which doesn't offer a lot, and you can, I believe you can trade on it. I've never traded using Tradingview, but I believe it will integrate with various brokers so that you can trade with it. So this is Tradingview, and I've got that on my left monitor. On my right monitor is my watch list. So I've got eight different tickers, all on the 1 minute time frame. So this allows me to put something on the watch list, and then I can just look for spikes. I can look for action in a graphical format. Here's my trading window. So I've got it's the same stock, but at the moment we're looking at Indonesian Energy, which is on the 1 minute time frame and on the 5 minute time frame. These are the two time frames I'm trading on. It's the action on these two time frames that I'm interested in. Now the 60 minute time frame gives me an indication, I'll keep an eye on this, it gives me an indication of trends reversals, or it gives me an indication of when a trend is finished and it's no longer following the original trend, etc. And then I've got the daily time frame. As you can see with Indonesian Energy, it was trading back last summer. I've got this on the weekly, and normally have it on the daily, so I'll put it back on the daily. Last year it was trading between $4 and $5 consistently, and then as we've got into February, it's increased in volatility, and now we're up all-time highs of kind of $14, $15. It went up as high as $20 this morning when the tanks went across the borders from Belarus, largely because of the political turmoil. So this is where I am in terms of my watch list. I just click on one of these and it puts that into the trade window. This is my P&L. This is my actual net P&L. This is my time and sales. And I don't want to go up to level 2 because it's got my account information. And this is the hot buttons that I have on my, whatever that's called. Then I come down here, and this is Benzinga Pro. So right here we've got 4 windows at the top and we've got 2 windows at the bottom. Benzinga Pro, I swear by it every day. So right now this first window is the top gainers, or people, gappers if you will. This is a measure of the gappers on the day. So based on yesterday's market close price and where it's at today. So we can see that Indonesian Energy is currently up 90%. If we look at South Jersey Indus, South Jersey Industries, that's up 45%. We've got Lantheus Holdings is also up almost 30%. So we can see we've got some good gappers here. We've got a number of different. What I'm looking for, what we've not had pre-market, is the level of volume of gappers, the number of gappers that are gapping up at least 15%. So that's what I look for before I take a trade, is something that's gapping up at least 15%. But I'm also looking for it's gapping up on good volume, strong volume. As you can see, Indonesian Energy, there's 4.6 million shares traded already. So I can click one of these and I can get into what the news catalysts are, the actual data. If I'll just put this up here, so you can get into the news catalysts, what's moving, low market cap. Their CEI is moving up as well for 82 cents. So we're looking at the energy and petroleum stocks are all moving up today for obvious reasons, the political situation. Go into the key data, I can see how big the float is. This is a very small float. Short float is 10%, so it's unlikely there'll be a short squeeze. It's not big enough to move it. So we can actually look at the financials, look at the chart as a whole, any news, any calendar events. So this is all from Benzinga. I've got the same chart here, but based on the time, this one. So this is what I consider the momentum stocks. So this is over the last 15 minutes what's actually moving, and again we've got surging stocks over the last 5 minutes, and then I've got 5 minutes but sorted by volume. So where are the traders actually taking action? So at the moment, ARI is the one where Array or ARI or whatever, Array Technologies, where the majority of traders are actually trading at the moment. So over the last 5 minutes. So actually, that's where it's not. So Tellurian is where the traders are. So just bearing in mind, you need to make sure that it's working. Then we've got the price spikes down here. This is my alerts. So I've got it, it pings up the alerts. I've got the price spikes being notified in real time as they happen. I've also got halts and resumes box checked. So when the market opens, this alert lets me know where the real momentum is in terms of volatility. If you get a volatility halt, it'll appear here, even if it's not on the watch list. I can even get highs, session highs, day highs, or annual highs. Same thing with lows. Depends on what you're looking for. And then I've got the news ticker here, the rolling news. This is all Benzinga, and it's all in the one place, and I use that every single day. If you're wondering where to find stocks to trade, rather than asking me for stock picks or signals, that's where I get my information from. There's a link in my link tree. By all means, go and check it out for free, and you can get the same information that I'm getting, and you'll see the same stocks move at the same times that I'm seeing them move. So that's Benzinga Pro. What else do I use? I have my Traderview journal. So if I look at my Traderview journal here, so Traderview is my journaling for all my trades. Every day, the beginning of every day, I import my trades from the previous day into Traderview, and this gives me all the statistical analysis I need to look at how I'm trading, look at when I've been successful, etc., etc. So if I would advise, it doesn't matter, you don't have to use Traderview, but if you're getting into trading, document every single trade that you make, so you can actually start looking at the patterns, and you look at your strategies, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what a good time of day for trading is, etc., etc. And Traderview, the reason I like that is it does all of that for you automatically and presents it in a nice graphical format. Okay, so let's see if we've got some more. How long will it take to recover the market? I've not got my crystal ball with me, so I can't really comment on that one. But I don't know how long the markets will take to recover, but what I do know is they will recover. If you look at throughout financial history, we saw really bad depressions in the 20s and 30s. We saw a world war, we saw the Vietnam War, we saw the Iraq war, we saw the Millennium Bug, the 2008 crash, the Afghan situation. So we saw the attacks on the two towers. Everything that you can say that in politically and outside world interference that impacts the stock market. The only thing that's pretty much guaranteed is it will recover. Long term, the markets and the index is only moving one direction, and that's up. You've just got to have the cojones to hold when it gets scary. If you're holding a position with an ETF, if your investments are in the red and it looks like you're losing money, instead of looking like you're losing money, that's a good time to do what they call dollar cost averaging and buy at a discount and average your overall share price. So gapping, that's a good question. What do I mean by gapping? So gapping is when we look at a particular, I'll show you exactly what I mean by gapping. It's probably easier to show this in graphical format. Okay, so this is Indonesian Energy on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so what we can see from, and I'll just zoom in so you can see these candles a little bit easier. So you can see here on the red candle, yesterday when I click it, it'll put the details. It opened at $7.97. It went all the way up to $8.44. It had a low of $6.83 and it closed at $7.53. So the closing price yesterday was $7.53, which is what this dotted line is here. So yesterday's closing price was $7.53. Now where are we right now before market opens? We're up at almost double that. So 1440s. So we're gapping up at the moment 92%. So that's what I mean by gappers. So Indonesian Energy is a gapper because it's gapping up from yesterday's close price. So when the market opens around $14, it'll be up say 90% or something. So it'll be gapping up 90%. I hope that makes that a little bit easier to understand. Okay, so what was the next question after that? Was there inflation prior or during the World War? Yes. So inflation, if you go back to the Great Depression, inflation went through the roof. People couldn't afford anything, and this is one of the things that happened back in the 20s and 30s. If you look at, let's just go back to the 1980s, so last century. It makes me feel old saying that. The 1980s, when inflation went up as high as 15% in some places, at certain points. Inflation, historically, it's been anywhere between kind of 3 and 6% on an annual basis. But it has gone as high as 15%. Certainly in the UK, it went up as high as 15% at one stage. Mortgage rates were up in kind of 15-20% at one stage. People were losing the properties, people were losing the businesses. It was horrible times when you're in those kind of depressive markets, when you're in those recessions and recessive markets. Now, we had a recession just a couple of years ago, funnily enough, a very short-lived recession, but the markets crashed. We had, as a result of the pandemic, the markets crashed, and then we had an ensuing recession as a result of that. So that meant that how long did we have to wait for the markets to recover? Well, we actually got all-time highs less than a year later. I think it was about 3 quarters later, we were back at all-time highs in the market. So go back to what your man was saying about how long will it take for the markets to recover. It completely depends on the wider economic climate. So if you look at the dip when we went into lockdown, that was a false dip when you think about it, because the wider industry at large, although a lot of people lost their jobs, and myself included, the wider industry at large commerce kind of stopped, it was always going to pick back up again as soon as the economies opened again. So it was kind of a false recession, if you will, but we picked up. If you go back to 2008, however, when we actually did have a genuine global recession, it took about 4 years to recover. Close to 5. In certain countries, it was even longer. So here in Ireland, we didn't get beyond the effects of the recession until about 2017. So that was 9 years. We got out of a recessive economy, but we were still feeling the effects of it at 9 years later. So it depends. It depends. But ultimately, this is a good question. So Oscar Cuban wants to know what time frame do I draw support and resistance levels at? So I look at the 1 minute time frame for action as it stands. I'm getting underpinned from the 5 minute. So I'm looking for support and resistance levels primarily with the 5 minute. Now, when we break out and we break out from session highs, so pre-market highs or opening range highs or high of days, and we're getting to uncharted territory on the 1 and 5 minute charts, I then look at the 60 minute chart. So I say, okay, well, where was previous confirmed support and resistance on the 60 minute or even on the daily? You can still see various, where did we close at, where did we open at, what was the highs and lows on a daily. So those can be taken as support and resistance areas. What I also use as well is the psychological levels, or the quarter, half and whole dollar levels. So 25 cents, 50 cents, 75 cents and whole dollar levels are psychological levels that people want to get in, and also that's where they take profit or where they exit, where they put the stop losses, etc. So that's how I draw, I'm a devil. I used to draw the lines all the time, and I ended up with this big messy charts. Occasionally I'll pull up like DWAC. If I pull up DWAC, which I was trading last October very successfully, and I just zoom out a little bit. That wasn't clever, but here's my face. If I look at the chart on DWAC, this is the 1 minute chart, but you can see there's a line there. Now I've not traded this since October really, but if I look on the daily, you can see it. These are support and resistance lines that I was doing on an intraday basis back in October, and I'm not wiped them off, but that's just so messy. So I don't do that anymore. I'm able to recognise the support and resistance in my head. Support and resistance levels, I recognise it in my head, so I can see it on the chart. It's a bit like, you've all seen the movie The Matrix, where APOC is, just broke my power bank, he's watching the charts, he's watching the streaming of the data, and he says, well, I don't see the data, I see blonde, I see brunette, I see redhead. And that's a bit like what I'm doing. I look at the charts and I see the patterns, I see the action, I see the support and resistance, and that comes with practice, that comes with time. So I'm in a position where I don't actually have to physically draw the lines. What I sometimes do is I'll draw trend lines, because they're not as easy to spot with regards to support and resistance. I may draw a line to emphasise a pattern like a bull flag. I drew a bull flag yesterday to show the stream. It was a textbook bull flag, so I showed the stream with that yesterday. But as you get good at reading the charts, you're no longer in a situation where you have to draw the lines, and you end up with being able to have a much cleaner chart. So that's drawing support and resistance. No, absolutely. I don't know what will happen tomorrow, and so I never said I'll know what's going to happen tomorrow. Do you have any tips when buying leap options? No, I don't have any tips about buying leap options. I don't know. Just what do I think is going to happen to currencies? The same thing that's going to happen to currencies. You're going to get peaks and you're going to get troughs. It's going to go up and it's going to go down. It's a case of, okay, which currencies you're trading. I'm not a Forex trader, but which currencies you're trading, and what is it that's impacting those. The same, I would advise anybody trading Forex to look at the catalyst the same way as I'm looking for catalysts within equities. You look at the catalyst, what's actually impacting that particular currency, and why is it moving in the way it's moving. So you need to be able to do your own research, and the technicals are just as valid for Forex as they are for equities as well. Okay, so we're just ranging sideways at the moment with Indonesian Energy. I'm just going to have a look at some of the other stocks at the moment. So South Jersey in South Jersey Industry, it gapped up at the 4 o'clock this morning, and it's been trading sideways, kind of doing nothing since. We've got Lantheus Holdings, very low volume. Okay, New Concept Energy. So GBR is up. Let's have a look at GBR. We should see ETFs in the energy ETFs or companies in the energy space are probably going to be in a very favourable position today, because a lot of energy stocks are up today. Right now, GBR is up 20%, but it's below the volume weighted average, so I'll keep that on the watch. Right now, Marks is just what else do we have? NXC. I did put that down there, didn't I? Yeah. There's no volume on NXC right now, but I'll put it on the list to keep an eye on. And we're also getting other commodities that are hitting the scanners as well. So there's Takurian wheat funds, so ETFs around commodities we're seeing spikes there. So wheat, this is the Takurian wheat fund, is up nearly 16%. Boyle, which is the Bloomberg natural gas ETF, is up 15%. So we're getting a lot. There's a hell of a lot of ETFs and equities in the energy space that's gapping up today. That's actually the ones that look like they're making moves. And that's the beauty of trading equities. We're not getting married to a particular sector. We're not getting married to a particular stock. We're just following the action. That's all we're doing. We're not looking for, do I think the US 30 going to go down today at open? I don't know. It's a simple answer to that. I can't say one way or the other. I can give my opinion, but it's just exactly that. It's me speculating, because I don't know. I don't know what way any of these stocks are going to go, if I'm being completely honest. All I'm doing is trading patterns. I'm a pattern trader, so I look for the pattern setups that other traders are also watching, and then I take a position that I know other traders will be taking at the same time, which will influence the movement of the stock, and I take advantage of that. That's what I'm looking at. My personal opinion is probably that in the over the course of today, it probably will fall further, but you probably will see at the open that it moves up slightly. I think you probably see a green to red move in a lot of stocks today, because they're gapping down so much that people will buy into them to start off with and then sell off. So I think today is going to be a bit of a red day in most cases, particularly in higher cap stocks and the indexes. But we can see that that's already taken place. The futures are already down on the day. VIX is up, so that's, if you're hedging, the VIX is up. So the markets are coming down, but the VIX index is up. So it's one way of looking at. Actually, saying that, we've seen an uptick now, a couple of dollars from the SPY. It's still just over 2.3% down on the day. The SPY. QQQ was, which is the Nasdaq, was over 3% down. It's now less than 3% down, 2.8% down. So the wider markets are still down on the day. They're still red on the day, and probably will be. Where am I at from 5k? I'm currently sitting at 106,000. Yeah, absolutely. Just send me an email, and I can show you how to set this up. That's not a problem. Not a problem at all. What info do I get from gaps? The info I get from gaps is that there's interest in the stock in terms of, I'm looking for gaps up. So in terms of an upwards price movement. So what I'm looking for when I see the gaps, first and foremost, I'm looking for the gaps. Then I'm looking for the volume. Then I look for a catalyst, a newsworthy catalyst that's actually presenting itself to drive that amount of upwards price action. So that's what I get from gaps. Now, what I tend to do, the strategy that I'm using is called gap and go. So as it gaps up on the day, as the market opens, I'm looking for stocks they've gapped up a certain level, at least 15%, and then there's enough interest in that particular stock that when the market opens, it will then move and continue with its upwards run. Now, it may pull back in the first instance, but across the course of the day, intraday, then it's going to move upwards. So it's a gap and go strategy. So that's why I'm looking for gappers, because I need them to be that gap part of the gap and go. Do I tack trading? I'm assuming that you mean, do I teach trading? I'm not a teacher. I keep getting asked that, and I've said I wouldn't, but I'm increasingly thinking that maybe I should put something together, because there seems to be an appetite for it. I might do. If there's enough interest, then I might put something together. Yeah, I can certainly say hello to Annie. Hi, Annie. So we've got 12,000 likes. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate that. When you tap the screen, it gives me a like, and the more likes I get, the more it pushes it out to the algorithm, and the more the algorithm pushes it out to other people to join the chat. So yeah, I am up today. At the moment, we're $929 in the green at the moment. So we're just waiting for a good setup. We missed a good setup from INDO. A little bit earlier, but yeah, so 8:35 we saw INDO move up from 1375, I think, ish, 1370, and it peaked up at 1532. So you know, it's a $1.50 move, $1.60 move. We could have taken advantage of that. We missed it. We were trading it early. This is what we were trading earlier. At the moment, it's the one stock that I'm looking at. It's the one that's got the momentum. It's got the volume. It's got the gap. It's up at 95%. I'm now going to keep an eye on that while I'm chatting to you. So if I'm not looking at the screen and I miss your question, if it's an important question, swipe left, click on the Q&A, and write me a question in the Q&A, and I'll get back to you. I won't be looking at war stocks today. It doesn't matter to me. The political climate doesn't matter to me. I'm looking for, if there's war stocks in my range, in my price range, and they're gapping up and moving with volume and momentum and volatility, then I'll look at them. If they're not, then I won't. So a lot of swing traders will be looking at war stocks. That's simple. Yes, I am in Ireland. A lot of swing traders will be... do I want to learn how to use Binance? I know how to use Binance, but thanks anyway. So a lot of swing traders will be looking at war stocks. A lot of them will be looking at commodities, precious metals like the likes of gold, silver, which are all up today, and they'll be swing trading it. I'm not a swing trader. I'm a day trader, so I'm looking for intraday movement, and I'm looking for where there is volatility but also volume. So the more traders that are actually trading the same stocks as me, the more likelihood is that equity is going to respect the technicals. it's going to trade in a way that that can be respected. So good luck with shorting Apple. Good luck with that. Okay, so I just missed I missed that move on INDO. I'm just waiting for a good move. I've not seen my entry point yet. So I'm seeing some support levels forming here around the kind of 1450s, 1460s. We've got a resistance level here at 1550. So if it breaks 1550 and then holds that as support, that could be a good sign. So Indonesian Energy, INDO, we traded it on Tuesday. It's meeting a little bit of resistance at 1550. It's met resistance here before, and if it breaks 1550 and holds, it might be worthwhile trading. It might pull back now because it's trading above the volume weighted average price quite a little bit. So we're looking at over $1 higher than the VWAP. So and the fact that this is up 96%, 97% on the day. Energy stocks are all up today, but this one in particular is a very short float. It's a small share float. So be careful if you're going to trade this. Be very careful. The swings after the bell opens in 35 minutes could be extremely volatile. So we're getting a bit of a pullback from the 1550. There was resistance on the 1550. That's where I'm really interested because that's previous resistance there on multiple times. It's tapped that 1550 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times now on the 5-minute time frame. So it's a confirmed resistance level, and resistance and support are interchangeable intraday. What's your best indicator to use? I only really use one indicator on an intraday basis. I use the volume weighted average price, the VWAP. It's an intraday trend indicator. If the action is taking place above it, you're in an upwards trend, and if it's taking place below it, it's you're in a downwards trend. If it's fluctuating between the two, it's a rangy trend. It's not a trend at all. It's just ranging sideways. So I tend to use that. I do use moving averages from time to time, but the strategy that I'm using now, I tend to just purely concentrate on the VWAP. I keep my charts fairly clean. I've also got the volume histogram at the bottom, and I've got volume by price on the left hand side of the chart as well, which gives me a good indication of where the bag holders are, where people are actually seeing it. So this reinforces those support and resistance levels. So right now we've got a lot of, most bag holders are in around the 1520 and the $15 mark. So I want to see this pull back a little bit. If it breaks 1550, then that's a little bit of a range that I'm interested in trading. And you can draw these lines, you can draw these trend lines all the time. I mean, there's a definite upwards trend forming here. If I'll put the ray line on here, and we can see this upwards trend here that's forming. So we can see that there's an upwards trend there forming. I'll just zoom out and I'll be able to show you guys a little bit. I'm just drawing this for your benefit, if you will. But if we take a much larger red line from down here and put that there, show you guys this channel, upwards channel that's forming here. So talking about the technical, just from a you can see down here when before it started the pump, we've got this low here, and then we've got where the lows of continually touch this. So we've got this upwards channel, and if I extend this one here, we can probably see that it's being respected as even this one, top of this channel, it was respected as a support level, and now it's been seen as a resistance level. So it's trading and respecting these two lines fairly well today. So I'm going to keep those on the chart as areas that I can keep an eye on as we progress throughout the day. And it's worth doing that. This is why you learn how to do technical analysis and charting, is that you're able to just do that. I can zoom in now, and those levels are on the chart, and I know what they're actually telling me. So right now 1450, I'm going to take a starter position on that for a bounce, and I've got a very, very tight risk of 1440. So I get in at 1446, and I'm out at 1440, because that's where that line is. So if it gets out, you know, I might lose a couple of $100, or it might respect this trend line and bounce up, and I'll make a couple of $100. So I just took a position at that bottom trend line that I drew. We saw it sell off when it touched the top trend line, sold off, and then it's come down to this bottom trend line. So I'm just holding this position right now, just to see what it does. Is it going to respect it? If it breaks through it, then I'll cut it for a loss, or is it going to bounce on this support line and move up again? It's been ranging up through this channel for a couple of hours now, so it'd be interesting to see what it's going to do. The last time it touched the bottom of this channel, it moved $2 in upwards. So let's see what happens this time. Just I'm just ignoring the chat at the moment. I am scalping. I'm just ignoring the chat at the moment because I'm in this trade. So yes, I'm scalping, and just waiting for this some volume to come in and decide which way to drive this this particular stock. So I'm looking at previous areas of resistance and support on the 5-minute time frame for confirmation, and it's the $0.25 here as well, so which is a big psychological level. So that's my exit now. Is the $0.25 is my exit. So if it goes below 14.25, that's where I'll get out. It's currently at 14.40s. I'm in at 14.46. So we're slightly behind at the moment, but I've got a clear defined exit point or stop loss that I will get out, and I've also got, on the basis of that, a defined take profit at 14.70. So we just tapped the $0.25 and then came back up again. So it's not quite broke the stop loss that I'm looking for. We've got a range of about, between 5 and 8 cents. It's ranging, and that's typical pre-market. You don't get the volume to keep those narrow spreads, so the spreads tend to get quite big from time to time, and you need to keep an eye on the spreads as well, because if you're just looking at the chart might say it's 14.50, but the spread there, the ask is 14.50, the bid could be 14.25. So you've got to look at the level 2, you've got to look at the price action as well as what's happening on the chart. So it's not just, so that's gone to, that's still 14.25 at the moment, at the bottom end. So I'm just, if it breaks 14.25, I'll get out. It's right on the precipice right now. But we got in because we saw volume coming in, but it didn't. So we got in after the big volume candle. So, you know, you can fake you out like that from time to time. I want to see this move up now. So we're out there, we got out, and I'm just watching this for a potential bounce on the volume weighted average. So we're looking at the potentially the volume weighted average price is at $14, and the reason that's a very big level right now, the volume weighted average price at $14, and it's a whole dollar level. So it's a psychological level. We've got the volume weighted average price there as well. It's quite a significant point. So that's just touch that there. Let's see if we get any movement. Is it going to break the VWAP and not hold it, or is it just going to keep falling there? So it's reached the 1372 was the previous trough low on the 5 minute. So it's down around that range again. It's currently at 1380s. I'm just watching this. I just bought in at 1406. So the 3/4 dollar, I'm giving it a 25-cent risk, and if it goes below 1375, I'll cut this one, because we're in a very downward. We're below the volume weighted average. We're very downward momentum at the moment. So I just want to cut this if it goes below 1375. Back over 14s, so I just want to see a bit of volume come in and take this back up towards kind of 1430s, 1440s. So these technical levels, they're not 100%, but we're seeing that more often than not they do respect these levels. You may not get a big bounce, but you usually get a bounce because there's lots of people watching these levels the same way as I am. So at the moment, the volume weighted average price is $14. It's a whole dollar level, so that's usually signifies a strong psychological level. So people watching the volume weighted average price, people watching the quarter, half, and whole dollar levels will be either buying or selling at that level. So if there's enough people watching this, it could bounce for a decent bounce. Just want to see some volume come in. We saw a bit of volume come in before it touched the volume weighted average price on the downward. So we've got 22 minutes to the bell. We're just I'm not buying crypto, but at the moment we start today at 106,000, just almost 107,000 in equity. I'm currently in this trade with Indonesian Energy, and I'm wanting it to hold this $14 level and move back up towards 1450. I've got my exit at 1375. I'm not staying beyond 1375. I need to start moving upwards. So right now we've had 3 5-minute red candles in a row, which is quite bearish, but it's respected the volume weighted average price all morning. So it's at 30.75. If it goes any lower, I'm out. Okay, so I'm out of that trade. So that's wiped out our profits on the day so far. So we're no longer in profit, but that's okay. We've got plenty of time to make that back. but it didn't find support at any of the levels that I wanted it to find support at. This is equities. It's not forex. I don't trade forex. I'm not comfortable taking that level of that amount of margin leverage. Just put my phone back on camera. So I just want to get back into the chat with some of these. Governments can steal your cryptocurrency, but keep buying that. I don't know where you get that information from. I really don't. Oh, okay. On the challenge, we started today at $106,000. We've just taken 2 consecutive poor trades. We've lost on both of those, so we're now 3,000 in the hole. So easy come, easy go. That's the thing. SPY today, you think it may run up. What makes you think it? That's actually, I'm interested. Let's see in the chat who else thinks the SPY may run up today and why. Just put in your. Do I set up my candles? No, the candles are standard. It's a candle chart. So who else thinks the SPY will run up today? So Penny LF says that the SPY will run up today, and I'm not saying she's going to be wrong. She might very well be right. I'm just really interested to think, based on the current situation and the uncertainty in the market, the issues over in the Ukraine. Who else thinks the SPY is going to run up today? The SPY is currently 2.3% down on the day. Are we going to get a bounce? That's a good question. Will we see the SPY bounce? Will we finish green today on the wider market? Who thinks? Just tap in the chat if you think the SPY will finish green today. Just tap green or red. Which way do you think the SPY is going to go? Green or red? Let me know. Okay. Whilst you're doing that, I'm looking at what else is moving. Nothing. Everything in the 5-minute time frame is red. So whilst I was expecting a more volatile market, the VIX is actually up. The VIX index is actually up 20%, which is usually a signal of volatility. So we're getting people are mostly saying red so far. Who else thinks the SPY is going to finish green or red? Let me. Yes, I've started as of this week. I've started recording my daily sessions. I'm going to start putting them on YouTube. They're not the best because I'm not facing the camera, but I've asked for streaming capabilities from TikTok, so I can actually stream my desktop. But I've not got that yet. I'm waiting for them to respond. And if that's the case, I won't need to do YouTube. But if I can stream my top 4 screeners here and my price action here, and just have my ugly mug on the screen as I'm taking the action and talking through it, it'd be a lot easier for me to do it, and it'd be a lot easier for you to see what I'm doing, because I won't have to keep turning away to you guys. So I want TikTok to give me that functionality, be able to use StreamYards. I think it's StreamYards, isn't it? What I'm using? Streamlabs. So I'm using Streamlabs, and I want TikTok to give me that functionality so I can use it with them. Right. So we lost money by taking a position at the volume weighted average price, and just as we got out, the $0.75 level, it's bounced and it's now retaken the volume weighted average price at $13.98. So that's just typical of the market. Do I ever buy penny stocks? No, I don't. I have a cut off. $3 is my minimum, and I set that on the filters. I don't trade anything less than $3 a share. Can I do anything if you only have really small budgets, a couple of hundred? Yes, you can swing big. Is what I can say. There's a couple of things that you can do, Dan. If you don't know how to do, the best way what I would say here is that trading on the stock market is a profession like any other. it requires knowledge and skill set that you need to spend time acquiring. Okay? If you are a dentist, you've gone to dental school. You've gone to medical school, you've gone to dental school, you've learned all the skills and all the and you've practiced on, you know, cadavers or dummies or whatever it is before you're actually allowed to pick up a drill and work on a real person. So think of it in that light, is that just because you've seen a dentist drill a hole in someone's tooth on YouTube does not mean that you can go into a dentist office and do the same thing successfully. So think of trading in that light, in that same way. And that's why one of the reasons many people get, the majority, not many, the majority of people get into trading and they lose money. They see someone doing it that spent the time, they've had the tuition, they've lost money before they've actually made it. Like myself, I lost money, and they think they can do it, so they put money in. This is what your man did, and then they wonder why they're actually losing money. It's a skill set. You wouldn't walk onto a building site and pick up bricks and try and build a house without actually serving time as an apprentice bricklayer. You need to learn the skills first. Practice in a simulator first. Now, if you're adamant you want to try it, you think what I'm saying is wrong, that $300 that you've got, go and get into my link tree, go onto one of those TradeNet academies, challenges, which I think are $200 for a challenge. They'll give you $10,000 to play with in a simulator, and if you prove profitable and you manage to make 30% profit, there's no time limit. If you make 30% profit, they will give you a funded account, $80,000 funded account, and split the profits with you. The likelihood is that $200, you will lose it. But it's good experience. I'm saying go on there, try the $200 challenge, cut your teeth with that, you'll know what I'm talking about. And then you'll be like, okay, it's not as easy as I thought it was. I need to subscribe to a simulator. A simulator costs between, what, $150 to $200 a month with live data. You can get on Think or Swim for free with delayed data, 15-minute delayed data. Learn how to chart, learn how to do the technical analysis, and do that. Or just be bullish. Put your money in the markets and lose it. I'm not saying put your money in the markets and have a go. I'm saying put your money in the markets and lose it. Gamble. That's what most people do. Most people have a gambling mindset and they get into the markets and think, I'm going to be a millionaire. And that's the gambler's mindset. As opposed to getting in the markets, I'm going to manage risk and create an income, which is the trader's mindset. Just be careful. Managing risk is key. So a couple $100 is... There's no broker out there will give you leverage for $200. The minimum leverage you're going to get is like a 2-to-1 for a minimum of $500 deposited. If most brokers, they won't give you a decent leverage until you're at least $2,500, and they'll give you a 4 times leverage. So $2,500 at 4 times leverage gives you a buying power and an account power of $10,000. Now you can make an income out of that. You can, if you manage risk well, you can potentially start to grow an account. And my advice there is grow the account, don't take profits until your account is at a substantial size where you can start taking profits, because you get the compounding effect on the buying power. So $200, yeah, just try one of the challenges. I'll go on to BitGets and buy some obscure crypto and pray. $200 is not going to tickle much. You're not going to make a lot of money. Stick it in an ETF, and the next time you've got it $200, stick more into an ETF. Keep doing that on a monthly basis, and you'll be a millionaire in 30 years' time. That's another way of doing it. But yeah, I would say $200 is not going. You're not going to be able to make a living on $200. Okay, so we've just seen this Indonesian Energy pullback. It took the volume weighted average price, ranged for a couple of candles, moved up towards that $quarter level, 14.25. It's pulled back to the volume weighted average price again. So I'm just going to take a starter position for a VWAP bounce and see if we get any joy with a move up on a VWAP bounce. and hopefully we'll start seeing a little bit of movement in our favour. So currently we're in 1410. So we want to see this up to, if we get this up to around 1425 again, 1430, we'll take some profits. If not, we've got a very tight risk. We're in at 1410, so we've got a 10-cent risk, because if it breaks back below the volume weighted average, it's just not adhering to the support, technical support. So we'll just get out as quick as we got in, for a very small risk. So 10-cent risk is all we've got on this trade. And we're looking for a 20, so we're at risk versus reward ratio here, so we're looking at taking profit at 1430, so that's a 2-to-1 risk versus reward. So if we lose 10 cents on the share, great. If we make 20 cents on the share, we'll take some profits. We'll then ride the rest of it for anything else, and we'll move our stop up to break even, so that we're at least profit on the trade as a whole. So we're just in and around 1420s. We're in a profitable situation right now. We want to get it to 1430s. We'll take a bit of profit. So we're up around 1434. So we'll take half off. And we're still in this. Still in this. We want to see it move up towards 1450. We got up towards 1440 there. We took profits at 1430, like we said. But I want to see this reach the $0.50. We'll take some more profit at the $0.50. So I'll show you the trade as soon as I get out of it. So our entry point now is 1410. So there's zero risk on this trade now. If it comes all the way back down to 1410, we exit the trade, and we're looking at, ideally we want to get this at 1445, 1450s. Great. So just take a little bit more profit off there. And if we break 1450s, I'll look for a position to add on the next pullback. Or now 1420 is my stop loss, because that's the low of the previous candle. So I'm now effectively moving my stop loss up with the price action. So the previous completed candle is, the low of that is exactly 1420. So if it pulls back to 1420, we exit the trade for a profit. So I'm very little risk. We're pretty much back in the green now. So there's very little risk to this position. I want to see it move up to a little bit of a pullback. I might actually buy this pullback if I see some volume coming in. There's no volume coming in, so I'm just gonna get out there. So I'll show you the trade and the impact on the profit and loss. Okay, here's my face. Okay, so this is where we saw this. This is our last trade. We at a loss there. So this is the trade that we got. We saw it retake the volume weighted average price, which is on the $14 whole dollar level. It ranged either side of it for a couple of candles, and then it made its move. I don't like those breakout moves in themselves. I don't want to chase those. I want to see it pull back to a confirmed area of support. So what I did is I saw it pull back to the volume weighted average price, and I took a position there for what's known as a VWAP bounce. And we saw it bounced on the VWAP and moved up. I took profit there. I took a half off there, a little bit more profit there, and then we exited when we got another full candle. We exited the position there. So that's what that is. So as I say, the previous two losses that we got wiped out our profit from before. So 475 profit realized now, but after charges and because of the two previous losses, we're green. $172 is it's not bad. We'll keep trading. Pre-market just being green. It's important just to stay green. Yeah, absolutely. So we were 920 in the green to start off with. Then we went down to a little over $1,000 in the red with a couple of trades, and then we're back green again. So you know, sometimes like easy come, easy go. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's like that. So just watch. I'm keeping watching this one. It's now 5 minutes to the bell. I'm not going to take any more trades. I'm just looking for any others that are moving. So we've got INDO is our top gapper. It's the one that's setting up Indonesian Energy. It's the one that's setting up the most. I'm looking at some of the other gappers as well. So South Jersey is here. That's not. There's not a lot of volume. It's below the volume weighted average price. That's currently 40% up on the day, but the action isn't great. We've got Lantheus, which is on the far top right here. That's not great. So so South Jersey. I need Lantheus, LNTH. That's Lantheus. The volume's it's trading above it's maintaining that trend above the volume weighted average, but the volume is very poor, so there's no trade set up there just yet. Maybe after the bell when the volume kicks in. GBR is the next one after that. So GBR is below the volume weighted average price. GBR is New Concept Energy. That's not setting up for a trade just yet. Marine Petroleum Trust, that's not setting up for a trade just yet either. MARPS, as its ticker is, that's just very low volume. So that tends to be the story of the day. It's low volume. Energy stocks are gapping up, but it's low volume. Yes, we're trading in stocks. It's trading in equities. I'm an equities trader, day trader in equities. That's all I'm doing. I'm not trading Forex. I'm not trading crypto. I'm talking about Forex for the benefit of the stream. I'm talking about crypto for the benefit of the stream. I'm looking at individual tickers that I'm not trading for the benefit of the stream. But that's pretty much it. We're just going to wait for the bell now. We've got 3 minutes to the bell, 2.5 minutes to the bell, and then we should see an influx of volume. The energy stocks are all gapping up, but on low volume. The only thing that's actually exhibiting setups at the moment is Indonesian Energy. So we've been trading that pre-market. We've made a bit of a profit. It's not a huge profit, but green is green. You know. How did I learn? By losing money. The money I lost in the markets in the first instance, that was my tuition fee. But yeah, I've read a few books. I've read there's a number of different YouTube channels and stuff. There's some free courses you can take. I basically studied. I self-taught, but I studied, and I devised a strategy that I'm comfortable with. Is a derivative of the gap and go momentum strategy, but I'm comfortable with it, and it's proven to be profitable for me. For me, that's no indication that it's going to be profitable for anyone else in this stream or anywhere else. In fact, the likelihood is that anybody that tries to follow me will lose money. The majority of people that get into the markets lose money. It's so what I'm doing, I'm not doing stock picks, I'm not doing signals or anything like that. I'm just doing this. It was a challenge for me to see if it was possible to grow a $5,000 account to $50,000 in a trading month. And not only did I do that, I'm now trading over $106,000, over $107,000 now. So, and we've still got 2 more trading days left after today. So it is possible, but it's highly unlikely. And the reason I say that is if you look at the if you look at what you need to do on a daily basis, if you take linear growth, take a single linear line and grow it from $5,000 to 50, taking the compounding effect of growing it every day, you'd have to grow that account 12.5% every day. Now, that's extremely difficult to do. You certainly can't do it with a larger account because the economies of scale don't work that way. So to grow at 12.5% per day, you have to have an extremely high accuracy, very good risk versus reward, and be extremely disciplined. Now that was the thing that I got in. If I look at how the growth of the account, I was up to $25,000 close of business on Wednesday, $24,000 close of business on Wednesday last week, and I had a really good day on the Thursday, $16,000 day on the Thursday, and that set us up. So that put us at $40,000 on the month, and then I had my best trade ever on the Friday, which was $67,000 in a single trade over a 30-minute period, and that just smashed the whole challenge out of the water. Now, how did I spot that $67,000 trade? I didn't. I got lucky. It was pure luck. So I got into the trade with a view to, I took $25,000 of a $12 stock with a view to making a 10-cent gain on a quick scalp. I was going to take profits. The strategy that was in my head, I waited for the setup, and I was going to take profits at 10 cent on a 10-cent move, and then I was going to take half of the position off and then utilize the rest to move on a 10-cent move. So I was looking for $2,500 is essentially what I was looking for. I was looking for $2,500 profit on that particular move. It moved 6 cents into a volatility halt. So I got caught in an upwards volatility halt, and it was normally volatility halts last for about 5 minutes. The market's open. Normally volatility halts last for 5 minutes. This lasted for 30 minutes, which is very unusual. And when it resumed $3 per share higher. That's over 25% higher. So I got out quickly for $67,000 profit. It doesn't happen every day, something like that. It's very unusual. Okay, the markets are open. The casino's open, if you will. The SPY is moving up. It's above the volume weighted average price. It's still down on the day, but it's moving in upwards direction right now. Indonesian Energy just sold off at the open, but the stock we took yesterday sold off. Overstock we traded yesterday sold off at the open, and we waited for the setups. It did a red to green move. I'm expecting a few of these energy stocks to sell off to start off with, and do a red to green move. I just need to change my scanners over to regular session as opposed to pre-market session, and then we can see what is actually happening. So we've got a couple of halts taking place. High power, IPWR has halted. Okay, that's halted down. Yeah, so the halts are all, the volatility halts are halting down at the moment. So I'm waiting because I'm a long biased. LNTH is moving. It's motoring. Let's watch this one. It's at $40 stock, so it's more expensive than Indonesian Energy, but there's no entry point right now. I'm just watching this take off, and I'm waiting for an entry point, and there isn't one. So I want to see a bit of a consolidation pullback. It's already broke the pre-market highs, so we potentially could have got in for the break of that pre-market high. It's pulling back now, so let's see. We might take a little starter here if we need to. Just waiting for an entry position. I don't want it to pull too far back. It's we've had 4 green candles in a row. I'm seeing how far this pulls back. If it pulls back to 40, I'll take a position with it. because that was the pre-market high was 39.50 ish. So looking at that, so the range is quite big at the moment. I want to see it pull back to 40. What else is moving? GB, there's nothing else moving. It's moving red at the moment. Right, okay, so Russia bull is up. So it's a ETF, direction daily ETF, that's up 4 million shares because of the Ukrainian situation. Still watching for an entry point with Lantheus Holdings. So it's not quite reached my entry level. I've got an order ready to go at $40 if it pulls back to $40, because that's where I see the confirmed support from pre-market. Is that $40 level? Slightly less. It's 39.50s is the pre-market high. So just want to see is this going to pull all the way down to 40s for me to get an entry, or will I have to speculate? So I'm not taking I'm just going to take a small size when I do find an entry point. So what I'm now looking for is next green candle to make a new high. So the high of this red candle is 40.83. So I'm looking for an entry point 40.85. So 40.85 will be where I'll get in. So I've got an order at 40.85. That's Lantheus Holdings. We've had a big push up and then a pull back. That's how bull flags tend to work. So I'm just watching this for potential bull flag, a bull flag breakout. If a bull flag potentially could be forming here. So just looking for the next green candle to make a new high on this particular this particular stock. That's 3 red candles in a row. The volume isn't great, it's drying up, so I'm thinking I'm just going to leave this and look for something else. The last 15 minutes is not showing anything for me on the scanners. Where else can we get in? So we're seeing resistance at 12.25 on Indonesian Energy. We've tapped that 3 times. The range is huge, 14.25 all the way down to 11.50, so I'm not too worried about that. SJI. Let's have a look at SJI. We're not seeing any halts in terms of volatility halts. So SJI is below the volume weighted average price, so I'm waiting for it. I want to see it above the volume weighted average price for me to take a position on that one. The same thing with Indonesian Energy. I'm going to watch that a little bit later. There's nothing setting itself up right now, so I'm just flicking between the stocks that are gapping up at the moment. There's nothing setting up. There's nothing setting. Everything's selling off at the open, or we saw one that's Lantheus is low volume, but we'll put this on because it looks like a potential bear flag is forming there. So I'm looking for the next green candle to make a new high will be 40.45. So if it breaks 40.45, so 40, I want to see it above the $0.50. So if it gets above the $0.50, 40.50, then and a bit of volume come in. I want to see the volume coming in. If it gets above 40.50, then I could be interested. So right now we're seeing this channel forming a bull flag. Whether it breaks out on a bull flag, I don't know. It's come all the way back now, so that's just broke out the range. It's come back down to the volume weighted, so that's done for me. That's done. So this is my. It's not the 16th day, is it? It's the 8th. So 19 days. The 19th day will be Monday. 17th day. Today's the 17th day. the profits, we're over 100. We're over 100,000 in profits already. So that's for Rickstar. Rickstar was asking the question, what's the profit margin so far? On the month, we're over 100,000 in profits. On the day, we're 172. So, you know, it's a tough morning at the moment. I don't know what platform you should trade Forex. I don't trade Forex. What I do know is most people that do trade Forex use either MT4 or MT5 platform. And MetaTrader. That tends to be the go-to platform for Forex. But I don't trade Forex. I tried using MetaTrader for stocks and equities, and it's not good for that. It doesn't carry the. I've found that it doesn't carry the volume-weighted average price as a technical indicator, intraday trend indicator, and that's what I use on an intraday basis. So, well, that's a good start. Actually, no, that is a good start. So, always paper trade first, but don't just paper trade with the momentum of a stock. Document a strategy. Write it down. What it is that you're doing. What you're looking for in your entry and exit points. Yes, the markets have gone down because of the tensions in Eastern Europe, but they're trying to come back. The SPY was down 2.5%. It's only down 2% now, so it's down 2.5% pre-market. The Nasdaq was down over 3%. It's now down 2% pre-market. So it's now down 2%. So they're trying to come back, but they're not quite there yet. They're still red. Well, I've got nothing to lose, Cornflake. So real Cornflake says that I seem transparent and honest. What am I doing? I'm just trading in my own account and streaming it live. So ideally, what I'm saying, what I'm doing is giving a little people an insight into how to trade, how to read the technicals, how to spot the patterns. That's all I'm trying to do. So entertainment and education purposes, I think, is the terminology that we need to use. So, are we getting a VWAP bounce with Lantheus? No. There's no volume. It's just not. I'm not looking to trade that one. I think that's another energy stock. So Lantheus Holdings. It moved up, created a bull flag, but never broke out. Oh, it's earnings release. What is Lantheus? So it's a science company, sciences, Pallet Life Sciences. That's who they are. So it's a difficult market at the moment. There's not a lot happening. The volume's very, very poor. The indexes, I don't trade indexes or futures or commodities on an intraday basis. So right now, I'm kind of thinking that there's no setups. We're only 15 minutes in. We're 15 minutes in, so there's no setup. So I'm just being patient. There's nothing. Yes. Good question. Is there a tool that allows you to look for stocks that have demonstrated my personal indicators? Yes, it's called Benzinga Pro. And I set it up every day, and I go through it every day live on the stream. If you've been here from 2 hours before market open, you'll see that I actually set it up live on stream. Benzinga Pro is what it's called. There's a link to it in the link tree if you want to try it out. It's great. I swear by it. It's a subscription platform, but it's very affordable, and you can try it for free. There is a free trial, a 14-day free trial. You don't need a credit card or anything like that. You just go on there, give them your email address. They'll give you access to it's web hosted, so they'll give you access to the platform. Have a play around with it. You've got squawkers on there. You've got news on there. You've got signals on there. You've got scanners. You've got calendars for likes of IPO and mergers and acquisitions and all that kind of stuff. All you need to decide what stocks you're going to be trading is there. SQQ, yeah, I can. It's another Nasdaq ETF. That's down again. It's sold off at the open. Bounced at 15.25, tried to make it back to the VWAP, didn't manage it, met resistance at 51.25, is pulling back again now. So the SQQQ is selling off. In line with the SPY is also selling off. So that tried to make a comeback and then sold off for the last 4 or 5 minutes. So the markets as a whole are in the red. Right now my P&L, I'm $172 green. So it's not a big day. I'm just waiting for a setup. I'm being patient. I'm waiting for a setup to present itself. There's no point taking a trade for the sake of taking the trade. This is one of the things, this is one of the reasons most traders lose money. They're sat at the desk watching the charts, they're sat at the desk watching the scanners, and they think they should be trading. No, actually no, you shouldn't be. You only trade the best setups. If the setups are not presenting themselves, you don't trade them. It's as simple as that. You know, so I sometimes struggle with the patience and sometimes take boredom trades, which is not good. It's another one of those cardinal sins. Just wait for the setups to present themselves, because at some point in this first hour, you'll see a stock decides to move, it'll hit the scanners, it'll present an opportunity for an entry, and you'll make some profit. If you don't, sometimes, do you know what? It's better just to watch from the sidelines, and if you're not going to see a setup in the first 60 to 90 minutes, the likelihood is, because that's when the volume and volatility of the market is at its highest, if you don't see a setup in that first hour or so, the likelihood is that the chances of you actually seeing something set up later in the day, when the volume and volatility is less, are exponentially lower. So just be wary of that. If you don't make money in the first hour, if you lose money in the first hour, don't try and revenge trade it back. And if you're not making money in the first hour, sometimes you've got to accept it's not your day and walk away. And if you're making money consistently, like I am, nobody ever went broke by not trading. A lot of people went broke by trading, but you know, I'm green on the day. It's a small green, but a small green's better than a red. So the SQQQ, the markets, it's a Nasdaq ETF, Nasdaq related ETF. So the Nasdaq is down, the SPY's down. They're ranging within the opening range. They're just ranging within the opening range at the moment. So the first 3 5-minute candles form your opening day, your opening range, and we can see that the Nasdaq, the SPY, the S&P 500, they're all trading within that first formed range within the first 15 minutes of the market. So just watching for some action to come on. To have Transmedics Group. Okay, so it's very, very low volume. I'm just going to have a look at this. TMDX, probably halted. No. It's moved 15 minutes. It's not up on the day that much, but it's got good movement. Why has it got good movement? That's a good question. Let's have a look at the catalyst here. So that just moved 15% in 5 minutes. So this is a surging stock. I just want to see why it halted up. The Q4 earnings. Walid Hassanein. So it looks like it's Q4 earnings came out after hours yesterday. Right, okay. I'm not convinced on that one. The volume's not there to set me up, but I'll keep an eye on it. If the volume continues and it continues to move up, it might present itself, but there's no volume at the moment. There's only been 459 trades since the bell, so that's just not big enough volume to get a reliable trade. Okay, so the SPY has just broke opening opening highs, opening session highs. So it's moving upwards. So that's a good sign. It looks like the SPY is trying to come back. Let me have a look at the Nasdaq. Uh, the Nasdaq's still selling off, but the the S&P's trying to make a comeback. So that's a good sign. There's nothing else. So Indonesian Energy, we were trading pre-market, is it was over 100% up at one stage. It's selling off now because it's now down to 60% up. So it's lost 40%. It's just selling. It's losing all its gains. So it's selling off since the bell. We're seeing the VIX has just plummeted since the bell. So that's a good sign. Has there been news on? Let me just pull up the Bloomberg. Breaking news. Yeah. Russia attack on Ukraine a heavy blow. So I'm just looking at oil source. Oil's up. Do, do, do. So, boxing icon Vitaly Klitschko is urging the world to defend Ukraine. Just send him to the front line. He'll knock them all out. Okay, so yeah, so with the let me just pull up the Bloomberg. There's no big news catalyst other than the Ukraine situation. Okay. So commodities, stocks, bonds. Interesting. Oil is probably it's it's up quite considerably. Uh, yeah. So energy prices are jumping. So gas prices are jumping. So yeah, the whole market is being heavily influenced by the Ukraine situation today, and that's no surprise. That's no surprise. So Emma's private party, no thanks. This is not that type of stream, but thanks anyway. I'm sure some people in the chat will be interested in seeing Emma, shaking her peach, but that's not this type of stream. What computer system do I use? So when you're selecting, it doesn't matter whether you've got a laptop or a desktop or a tower or what. The form factor is irrelevant. The reason I use a laptop is because I do quite a bit of travel. I like to travel, and when I'm traveling, I'd like to. Well, I've not done much traveling over the last year for obvious reasons. I'd like to be able to continue trading wherever I go. So I've got a couple of portable monitors that are not part of this setup. I've got a couple of portable monitors in my laptop bag that take my laptop, portable monitors, USB monitors, and I can trade on the fly wherever I go. What you're looking for in your computer setup is you're looking for decent processing power and a good network card because you want low latency and a decent graphics card. So what comes with that? A gaming computer. So I've got a HP gaming setup here, and because of the graphics requirements and CPU requirements of a gaming computer, it lends itself very well to trading on the software and the execution speeds and things that you need. So I'm using a HP laptop, and it's a gaming computer. I'll give you the actual specs. Why not? Where's my cursor? So where is this? The actual specs of this PC. So I've got a 3 gig processor, 3 gig processor, 8 gig RAM, 64-bit. So that's kind of the quick, and a 5000H graphics card in there as well. So that's the spec on the computer. What part? Yeah. Someone tried to join the live as a co-host, and it was probably not the kind of what's the word? Not the kind of host that we want that I want in this stream. The software is called DAS Trader Pro. So DAS, and then the 2 words Trader Pro. That's what I'm using here. I use this same software with interactive as I use with CMEG, capital markets, and I use the same setup. So the desktop setup, the template I use for either or, and then it's just a broker because I get the software through the capital markets broker, but I actually subscribe to Dash Trader with the interactive brokers feed when I'm trading on my interactive account. So it looks exactly the same. It's just the brokers that the data goes through. I don't use MetaTrader. As I was saying earlier in the stream, MetaTrader is the go-to platform for Forex. And if you're a Forex trader, MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5 tend to be the go-to platforms for Forex traders. MetaTrader is not the best platform for day trading. Certainly from my own personal experience, what you're looking for with a day trading platform is something that's direct market access, ideally, something that gives you low latency, so fast execution speeds. And more important than either of those is it's configurable. So you can get hotkeys, hot buttons, configurable hotkeys and hot buttons in your favour that you can put various things in place with a hotkey. So that's why I recommend either Sterling Trader or Dash Trader Pro. Those two they're very close in terms of capability and functionality. So those are the 2 platforms that I recommend. Are there any fees on the program that I use? Yes, my broker charges me platform fees and data fees. So I get charged for use of the software, and I get charged for data fees from the NASDAQ and the NYSE, etc. from the actual data itself. The thing is, because I'm an active trader, if my commission, because they also charge me commissions per transaction, per execution, if my commissions reach a certain level, they waive the fees. Because I'm an active trader, my commissions invariably always hit that level and go beyond. As a result, I get both the platform and the data for free, effectively. But they still charge me every month, so I'll get a charge on this month. It'll be on Monday, because the last day of the month is the 28th. So on Monday I'll get charged for the platform and the fees, and it'll be rebated into my account on either Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So they take it out and then they rebate it once they've actually collated and settled all the commission charges for the month. So yeah, just looking for some action. Transmedics Group is back up, but it's not. The volume's just not there with Transmedics Group. So I'm just. So we've got South Jersey Indus, and then we've got South. It's just ETFs really that are moving in most cases. Energy ETFs and energy stocks So maps, WM Technology. Let me have a look at the catalyst on this one. Everything's just selling off or ranging sideways. SPY's trying to make a comeback. It's up to 415s now. It's tapping 416s. WM Technology. Why is that gapping up? Piper Sandler maintains overweight. That's not good news. But it's got good earnings. So Q4 earnings. Okay. That was silly o'clock this morning. So let's have a look at maps. What's the volume on this? Very, very low volume. So 4,000 trades today. It's a lower price stock, which I don't mind. So $5 range. It's just pulled back to the volume weighted average. This halted a little bit earlier. I'm just not seeing the volume in the market right now. The volatility, it's just not there. W. Right, okay. So let's have a look at this one. So this is just on its this Wayfair. It's trading lower, but it's pulling. It's trying to get. It's back in the green on the day, but Wayfair is up to 130s, and it's trying hard to stay above 130s. It's halted a couple of times. It looks like on its way up. It's not volatile enough for me. There's no volume, so I'm not going to be trading that, and it's expensive. So right now, nothing. So I'll show you the scanners, and you'll be able to see the scanners for yourself. So here, this is Benzinga Pro. As you can see, the scanners here, Indonesian Energy is the top gapper at currently 60%. It was 100%, but as you can see from that, it's just selling off since the open. Most of these are energy-related stocks or SPACs or ETFs. Lantheus Holdings. They're all the ones that I'm looking for. Stocks that are at least 15% up on the day, and trading with good volume. So EVH is very low volume. Well, it's not very low volume, but it's low volume after the bell. With only 50,000 SGRV, that's South Jersey. That's incredibly low volume. That's okay, but it's not setting up. It's not setting up well for us at the moment. I've looked at it. It's below the volume weighted average price, so it's in a downward trend right now. It was higher. I think it got up to about 60%, 50-60% on the day pre-market. South Jersey's selling off as well. INDO's selling off. So there's nothing, and then we look at the momentum stocks here. The momentum's downwards. So the momentum is actually is actually downwards. And on the surging stocks, again, it's all red, so it's downwards. The surging stocks are moving downwards. So it's not great. If I'm looking at the spikes, the spikes up are not big spikes up, but the spikes down. So look at that, 5% down in less than a minute. The spikes down are huge. The spikes up are not. So it's not setting itself up for a good trading day for me at this moment in time. That could change. That could change. Now, here's my face again. The question that you just asked was, what do I call good volume? It's all relative. So it depends on the float size, and it depends on what it's normally trading at. I'm looking for better than average volume. So relative volume needs to be high relative volume. But after the bell, if it's not trading 100,000 shares every 5 minutes, it's not good volume. So something that, what are we, 30 minutes after the bell, and it's only 500,000 shares traded, that's low volume for me. I don't only go long. If I go an extended period of time where I've not traded because it's not been setting up, so if it's a legitimate bear market, then I potentially will look at shorting the market. There's a reason I don't, by default, don't short the market, and that's simply because it costs me money to do so. So my broker, if I'm taking a short position, I have to locate the shares. I have to locate the shares first before I can take the short position. And if I locate the shares, I get charged a fee for that. I get charged interest for that. So even if I don't actually take the short position, I still get charged for locating the shares. So I don't want to be charged for the shares. I mean, it's not expensive, if I'm being completely honest, but it's more expensive than it would be if you go in long. If the shares are hard to borrow, then the cost to borrow is even higher. So I will short, but only when I see it's in my favour. And right now, my setups and I feel more comfortable. I'm a long bias trader. I do short from time to time, and if I'm shorting, I might short futures, I might short the SPY. Right now, I'm not doing it, but for me, I would say I've got a long bias, and my setups work better. They present themselves, the patterns present themselves in a more obvious manner when I'm going long. So the question here from Sean is that, do I recommend holding it with shares, or shares with a sudden drop, or sell for a small loss? It depends on what you're trying to achieve. If you're investing in a company long term, then there's no reason why you should ever be selling just based on price action alone, because you're investing in the long term of that company. And if you've done the fundamental analysis and you really believe in that company, it's like Tesla for now, for example. You take Tesla, it's been selling off since November. It's been in a downward trend ever since November. But if you really believe in Tesla, you'll have bought it, and you could have bought at the highs, but you'll still hold. And instead of just still holding, you'll average down and add to your position. So that's more about investing. It's long term. You're looking for long term fundamental gains. For day trading, you cut your losses. You be very strict about the positions that you're in, and you have in your mentally, or even on the chart, you can do this. You can set up your hotkeys to do it by default if you want to. When you enter a position, you have a stop loss in mind, and if it hits that stop loss, you're out. It doesn't matter if it reverses and you miss the push afterwards. You stick to that strategy. If you don't stick to the strategy, then you don't have a strategy. Is the key there. So you have to stick to the strategy. Be disciplined. Cut your losses at the level you've already predetermined, and there's no harm in taking a loss. Everybody makes a loss. I made a couple of trades today, and I was in the red for a little while. I'm now $172 green on the day, but it took me a few trades to actually recover those losses. You've got to realise that you're not a god of the market. Not every trade is going to go in your favour. If you get an accuracy level of 60% or better, you're one of the better traders. 60% is considered a good level of accuracy. If you have maintained a profit-loss ratio, a risk-reward ratio, in your favour, so 2 to 1 or 1.5 to 1, 3 to 2, I think I'm 3 to 2 at the moment, 2 to 1 or 3 to 2 risk-reward ratio with an accuracy of 60% or better, then you're going to be a profitable trader and you're going to make money. So, well, if you got in at 130 on way third, then you should be in the money now. It's down to 123. So I hope that wasn't on what I said. So because I'm not offering stock picks. So as someone that's new, it's a good question. It's a very good question. So someone that's new to trading, he wants to know what is the difference between long and short. Okay, so going long means that you're speculating that the price movement will move up, so it will increase in price. And going short means that you're speculating that the price will move down. So essentially what happens is, if you take a long position, you're buying the shares outright, and you're holding those shares for the price to move up, and then you sell them at a higher price to make a profit. If it goes against you, you end up making a loss. So that's a long position. A short position is you borrow shares in the first instance, and then you sell first. So you sell the position, you sell the shares, or with the proviso that you believe the price of that equity is going to go down. And when it does go down, you then buy shares from the market to cover that position. And that's called, and the difference is your profit, and that's called shorting the stock. So I hope that makes it a little bit clear. I could use a couple of analogies that do make it clearer, but I hope that's clear for you. I need to sell these videos as there isn't a mentor out there at the moment like this. Well, you can buy them. I've got these TikTok videos recorded, but they're not on the. I'm actually recording this. My platform here. I'm recording it, and I will start uploading these onto YouTube. For March, as of next month, I might actually stream on YouTube as well as TikTok at the same time, unless I can get the ability to stream my desktop onto TikTok. I've used Streamlabs, and they're working on a beta at the moment with TikTok where I can actually stream my desktop, but I've not got access to that, so I've requested access to that, and hopefully I'll get it. Have I tried Quantifury to execute my trades? No, I've not. No, I've not. I don't even know what Quantifury is. Is that platform? What is that? What's a good monthly gain? A good monthly gain, 2%. It depends. If you're talking about long-term investing, a good monthly gain, 2%, 1.5%, 2% is a good monthly gain. That's what most hedge funds are aiming towards and trying to achieve. They're doing kind of if you stick your money in a index-related ETF, you could get 10-12% annually. So 1%, 1.5%. However, if you're day trading a small account, I say target yourself on 1% daily. Growth 1% daily. So if you're trying to grow a small account, let's say you put $1,000 into a small account, you want to be starting off with $100, $1,000. You $10 gain per day, every day. So $1,000 will get you $10. That's a 1% gain. The compound effect of that to grow your account is what's important. If you're trading in an account that charges commissions, you've got to factor that into consideration. So it needs to be net $10 gain. If it's going to cost you, let's say Interactive charge you $4 per execution, so it ends up being an $8 round trip, it means that you need to be making $18 every day to get that 1% gain. But you get $1,000 today, you make 1%, so you make $10, you've got 1,010. Tomorrow you're making a bit more and a bit more, and it's a gradual thing. Don't rush it. You get on a good stock, you might make 20%, you might make 4%, but whatever it is. But start off small. Map it out in a spreadsheet. I'll show you what I've got a spreadsheet that I did exactly that. Okay. So template for. I've got a spreadsheet here that I did exactly this, and I mapped it out at what would I need to do. So where are you? Where's my TikTok gone? Oh, sorry. So here's my face. So what it is, I create this spreadsheet, and this column here, I wanted to start with before I did this. I wanted to start with $5,000, so I put it in there, and I wanted to get to $50,000. So okay, what do I need to achieve on a daily basis in order to get to 50,000? So it was before for this challenge, I was mapping out. I need 12.5% daily. Now, if you've got a similar spreadsheet like this, instead of 12.5% there, so you just do 101, and this is what you're looking at, $5,000, and this is the growth. So this is 1% growth daily, or over 20 days on a monthly basis. After the first month, you've grown $1,000. So you've got $1,000 in the first month. After the second month, okay, you've got $7,500. After the third month, 9. After the fourth month, you're $11,000, and you started off with $5,000, and it continued. That's the impact of compounding. You get $5,000 growth just by growing it 1% per day, and before you know it, you got $20,000, $30,000 by the end of 6 months later or whatever it is. You got $30,000 in your account, and then you can start looking at making slightly bigger swings. So that's how you would map it out, and just get yourself a little spreadsheet, start doing the maths. What do you need to be doing on a daily? Now, don't get carried away, because once you get to about $100,000 in equity, worth of equity, the economies of scale work against you. If you end up having to take bigger positions. If you're taking bigger positions, you need someone on the other side of the transaction to also be taking bigger positions. So if you're taking 50,000 shares of something, you need somebody selling 50,000 shares. Now you spread that across the market, that's fine. But when you come to sell that 50,000 shares, that's going to have an impact on the price action. So you try and sell 50,000 shares all at once, it's going to tank the price. And if you've got a limit order, the likelihood is you're not going to get filled. And if you've got a market order, you're going to get huge slippage. So, Oh, so Indonesian Energy spike behind me. So that's looking like it could be back in the running for a trade. We're 15 minutes left of the stream. So thanks for that. Can I explain breaking resistance, please? Yes, absolutely. I've made over 20% gain. Absolutely. I don't trade. I'm on stocks. So paper trading is the way to go. But can I explain resistance? So resistance are confirmed levels of where people are transacting. So what tends to happen is the stock market is very psychological. There's usually somebody, 60% of the market action, 60% of the volume is high frequency trading, it's hedge funds. But the other 40% is actual people trading, so the retail trade, the proprietary brokers, the other people that are actually manually transacting. So what tends to happen is that, like on what I've been doing here, is you map out certain levels. Psychological levels tend to be half, whole, and quarter of the dollars. But also you find certain levels like where the volume weighted average price is, and you might find crossover levels between moving averages. So you get to recognize patterns that people are either buying or selling at these levels. Now if the price to point is moving up and people start selling at these levels, that's called resistance. Because what happens is people start selling, the selling action moves the price downwards in a downwards direction. And as people start to then reach a level underneath that and they start buying again, that's what is classed as support. And then people all come in, we get a volume of traders coming in buying at that recognized level, and that's support, and it moves the price upwards. Now breaking resistance or support is when you actually get to a level and it starts trying to get past it. There are people still selling, but once it gets past that, it breaks that level, breaks that resistance, as it were, and other traders recognize that as a good bullish sign, a good upwards sign, positivity comes in, and they start buying at that point, and you see a momentum surge to the upside because they broke that resistance point. So that's breaking resistance, and the same for support as well, in breaking support. So I hope that answers your question. What if you want to sell shares but no one is buying? Then you end up with slippage. Someone will buy. There's always fluidity in the market. but is there enough at the price point that you're trying to sell at? If you've got 50,000 shares and you're trying to sell something at $10 a share, and nobody wants to buy it at $10 a share, then you'll get slippage, and it could go down to $9.50 or even $9 or whatever it is. And depending on what you set your limits at, if you've got a market order in to sell your 50,000 shares, it will sell them at the best available price to sell, which you could get huge slippage, which is why I always put limit orders in, so it will sell it at a minimum level. So it doesn't go beyond that level. And sometimes I'll get missed. I'll only get what's known as a partial fill, so I'll only sell a partial amount of my position, and if the movement comes back up as a result of people buying, I'll be able to sell the rest. But you do get slippage, and you've got to factor in your risk versus reward strategy, risk management strategy. You've got to factor that into the fact that you may get slippage. So Indonesian Energy is pulling back towards the volume weighted average price around $13. I want to see this hold here. We've seen over the last 5-6 minutes, we've seen an uptick in momentum. So what I'm going to do at 13.25 is take a small position here. Oh, it's gone through that. So I'm going to see if it holds 13. So no, it's not. I didn't take the position because it didn't hold 13. It just flushed, sold off beyond the volume weighted average price. It didn't hold the whole dollar. So it was pulling back. I was looking for a bounce on the volume weighted average price. It was around the $13 range. So I was expecting the fact that the VWAP's there and the whole dollar's there. The psychological mentality around that would provide an element of support. If I'm looking at the intraday, $13 is not really a recognised level of support or resistance. We've seen it tap just after the first sell-off, after the market, but that's about it. Actually, it has been a support level. Pre-market, it was a support level. It pulled back to $13 on 2 occasions and moved back up. So we could see a move back up here. It went all the way down to kind of 11.50s. So it might be a support level after all, $13. So I'll just take a small starter position at $13 for a move up. We're in this trade now for 2,500 shares. So I don't want it to go below 12.75. So that's I've got a 50-cent risk on this. 12.75, and I'll cut it because that's below the VWAP, and I want to see successive higher lows now. So we've got a little bit of volume in, but I want to see successive higher lows. I really should have waited for a new higher high, next candle to make a new high, but I didn't. So go figure. I was waiting for the VWAP bounce there, but let's see where this takes us. Just in this at the moment, it's hovering around the $13 level, which is, as I say, psychologically, because the VWAP is currently at 13.05. Of course, you've got the whole dollar level. It can be quite significant. So I'm just going to get out of this position if it gets to below 30. Yeah, I'm out. I'll get out. Just a partial fill. So that's what I'm talking about. I tried to get out with the flush there, and because it's a limit order, I only got a partial fill. So I only sold a quarter of my shares. So I need to either add to the position at average down, which I'm going to try, buy this dip, and wait for it to move back up in my favour. And then get out for a profit if we can. So don't want to see this below 12.50. It is at the moment. Oh, it's raining outside heavily by the looks of it. So this will potentially be the last trade of the day. I want to see it above 1260, 1270. I want to get it back up towards the VWAP. I want to see it back towards the VWAP, and then towards $13 would be nice. It's not going in our favour, so I'm ready to cut my losses on this. Just ready to cut my losses. If it doesn't turn in our favour, I'll get out. If we get below the low of the previous candle, I will definitely get out. We lost a bit of money on that last. So we're in the red at the moment on the day. It's not proving a favourable day for me to trade today, I don't think. So it's sometimes you've got to recognise that the markets are not going to be kind to you, and you've got to recognise that sometimes it's better just to sit it out, wait for the markets will be open again tomorrow. The markets will be open again tomorrow. Right, I've just made a nice little profit there. Excellent, excellent. Right, so we're good. I think I'm going to leave it there for the day. I'm going to close the stream up in 5 minutes. I'll show you this last trade and the impact on the profit and loss. Okay, so I got in there we got in at 13.15 I think it was, but we got a bad fill, so we got in there for the bounce and the break of the quarter dollar, and it flushed. Now I had set the stop here, and it missed. I got a partial fill here, so instead of cutting it for a big loss, I actually added to the position. Now this is a very risky strategy to do. I don't recommend anybody doing this. So I added to the position, and whilst we were in for 2,500 on the flush down, I actually added to 10,000. So as it went back up, I added 10,000 shares here. So as it went back up, we were in for 10,000 shares here now, and we actually got filled here. And then it went back up there, and we got that kind of 3,000 unrealized. So I just took the whole position off there, and we made a profit. How much profit? Well, we're now green, 2,600 on the day, but because of commissions, we're paying like $500 in commissions today. So our finishing net profit and loss is 2,100. Now that last position was a high risk strategy. But because it flushed down so quickly, so much so that I actually missed my fill, it meant that it's like an elastic band. If you get in at the bottom, sometimes it has that elastic band effect, and people see that as a buying opportunity, and it springs back up again. So that's what I was looking for there, and it did exactly that. So it went back up to kind of just touching $13. So it's a high risk strategy. It doesn't always work. I'm in a situation right now where I'm not risking a lot, because I was, before we started today, I was $106,000 up, so $100,000 up on the month. So me doing that, worst case scenario is it flushes and I might lose, $5,000, $10,000 or whatever on the day. That's a big loss. A $10,000 red day is a big loss, but I've got to take it into the bigger picture. I can afford to take a bigger risk because I've got a bigger account and a better starting position. I wouldn't advise anybody doing that kind of averaging down in a losing position. That is a bad strategy, and I only did that just basically to cover the losses that we had on the day. So we're finishing. I've recognised I'm not having a good time today in the markets. It's not my day. The setups aren't presenting themselves in a favourable light for me, so I'm going to finish today on a high. We're 2,136 in profit on the day, so that will take us to just shy of $109,000 in total coming into tomorrow. I'll wait for close of the day for when it settles, but approximately $109,000 is what it should be when it settles for tomorrow morning. We're doing okay, more than okay. We're doing stop being modest, Tony. We're doing fucking brilliantly, actually. But today's just not setting itself up for big wins. Okay. What to buy? What to buy? Right now, I don't offer stock picks or stock signals or anything like that. I'll just say that trading is risky. If you're getting into trading, only put up money you can afford to risk. I'll be finishing the stream in a little minute. I've got. I'll just introduce any newbies to my trading companion. She's here wanting me to. Yeah, go. She's waiting for me to take her for her walk. So this is my little grizzly bear. I know, I'm going to take you in a second. They're all keeping me from taking you. So, okay. So, here's my face again. Yeah, so today's not set itself up for a good trading day. Hopefully tomorrow will be better. I will be back 2 hours before market open time. If you're in Europe, that's 12:30 GMT. If you're in the States, it's 7:30 AM. East Coast time, Eastern Standard Time. So I'll be back here tomorrow, 2 hours before the market opens. If you're wondering what tools I use, just check out the link tree. If you want to contact me directly, there's an email icon at the bottom of the link tree. Just click the email icon. You can email me directly. My social media is all in there as well, so you can connect with me on Instagram or wherever. Have a good rest of the day. I'll probably watch more of this developments in the Eastern Europe. So have a good day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot for sticking around. Appreciate it. And we're done.